What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. All right, everybody, check it out, man. I stumbled upon this video the other day on X. I thought it was pretty cool, man. These two kids doing the choreography, obviously, from Duel of the Fates. You got the one kid with the double-bladed saber from Darth Maul, and then this young guy, he's got the Obi-Wan. It looks really good, man. Put together very well. I love it. This is awesome. Shout out to these kids for keeping Star Wars love alive, because Disney sure as hell ain't giving your generation a damn thing. Right? Says it right here. Kids make better lightsaber duels than Disney. Yeah, this is stuff that we used to get, right? You know, George Lucas putting it together. I mean, this is 25 years ago. These little guys right here wasn't even a twinkle in their daddy's eye, you know, when this movie was made. But yet they got to go back and replicate this instead of replicating things that was made for their generation, right? Star Wars for their generation is the sequel trilogy trash. Nobody wants to watch this. They sure as hell ain't trying to duplicate, like, what, Rey and Kylo Ren. Yeah, nah, I'm good, all right? They ain't trying to duplicate none of that crap, and they sure as hell not trying to duplicate this bullshit. Y'all remember this crap? Y'all remember this garbage-ass lightsaber battle that we got in The Acolyte? And remember, they had the nerve to say, oh, this is going to outdo Duel of the Fates. We're going to outdo Duel of the Fates with this trash right here. Holy smokes, man. So yeah, shout out to the parents for putting them kids up on some real Star Wars, not Disney Star Wars, all right? Because you can't do nothing with Disney Star Wars. You can't have fun with this. I can't get jiggy with this shit. This is garbage, all right? So yeah. So it does beg the question, shout out to Star Wars Theory. He's asking the same question we're all asking now that the Rey movie has ixnayed its third writer, all right? The third writer has walked away from this, and now they're looking for a new writer. Theory asks, do you think the Rey movie will be canceled now or delayed as the writer leaves the project? And then he did a video talking about the Rey movie writer walking off disaster, all right? And yeah, I think, and you guys already know how I feel about this, I think that this thing is DOA anyway, and I think, yeah, Disney's just gonna pull the plug. Disney's gonna pull the plug. They like, sorry, Kathleen, it's not happening, all right? No more lame chicks being gay in your shit. We're just gonna go ahead and pull the plug on it. You go on and trot off into retirement because this thing is dead. And I know a lot of folks was like, well, wait a minute, time out, DA. They did drag Daisy Ridley out there at Star Wars Celebration and cascaded her out there, showing her off in her red dress and everything and saying, yay, Daisy Ridley is back as Rey, all right? But remember, they also ran Mahershala Ali's ass out there on stage at San Diego Comic-Con 5 years ago, right? Hall H. He was out there saying, oh, yeah, this man right here, he's going to play Blade. You know, this is our new Blade. Now, do y'all think that Mahershala Ali is going to play Blade? All right. Do y'all think that this dude is ever going to suit up for Marvel as Blade? I don't think he's suiting up at all. I don't think that's ever going to happen. If we ever get a Blade movie out of these jokers, it's going to be a younger guy playing Blade, or it's going to be Wesley Snipes as old man Blade. We are never going to get Mahershala Ali as Blade. Just like I think that the Rey movie, now, we may get Rey in another movie. We may get Rey in another movie, but I don't think it's going to be that Charmin Obey-Chinoy movie, the movie where they've been having all of these troubles with the writers. I don't think it's going to be that, all right? We had this story right here that Sean Levy's Star Wars film may involve Rey. You know, we saw that, okay, Daisy Ridley, they paid her some money. You know, she's got a nice little chunk of change, and it sounds like it's for more than one movie. So it's a possibility that she shows up in this movie. But in terms of this shit, the one that Star Wars Theory is talking about, nah. This shit is dead, man. This thing ain't happening, all right? But that kind of brings me to this story right here. Inverse put this out discussing, is Disney abandoning Marvel and Star Wars? A more diverse Disney slate could mean a safer approach for the tentpole. So I think right now Marvel and Star Wars need to both hit the pause button and stop making content for the next 5 years. I truly believe that. I know it's not going to happen. All right. They're already talking about James Mangold is making his next movie. All right. That thing is going to start shooting sometime in 2025. But in my opinion, the damage has already been done to not just Star Wars, but to Marvel as well. And they need to sit down and figure out what the hell it is that they want to do. Now, what Inverse is talking about here is basically because they replaced the Blade slot with Predator. All right. Yeah, Disney made headlines on Tuesday when it quietly removed Blade from its release schedule and replaced it with Predator Badlands, the latest movie in the long-running sci-fi horror franchise from Prey director Dan Trachtenberg. At least we thought it would be the latest. An interview with the Hollywood Reporter, head of Disney's subsidiary 20th Century Studios, Steve Absol, revealed Trachtenberg secretly filmed a completely different additional Predator movie in secret that will be released before Badlands. So they're trying to build out Predator. They say, all right, we got Prey. We're going to have this Predator Badlands movie and then this unnamed, unknown movie that they just kind of inserted in between the two of them. And maybe they're going to try to start banking on some of their other franchises. Somebody had brought up a point on the DA's office. I want to say it was maybe Hold My DualShocks. I'm not sure. But somebody brought up the point that's like, yeah, the biggest movies that Disney has had outside of Deadpool and Wolverine and Inside Out, obviously, is Aliens. You know, so you do have other franchises that Disney can play around with instead of just Marvel, Star Wars, Marvel. And I get that, you know. They also have their princess franchise, which coming up, we got Snow White. I don't think that that's going to do very well, you know, with the Disney princesses. You also have Pixar, which did well with Inside Out, too. So I think that there is more meat on the bone for Disney other than Star Wars and Marvel. But the problem is it's still Disney. You know, and yeah, Disney can try to say, okay, you know, let's go ahead and slow down some of the production on some of our Marvel content and our Star Wars content because we're just dropping the ball crazily like that. But can we make up with it, with anything else? In my opinion, Disney just needs to pull the plug on both of these franchises, Marvel and Star Wars, regroup, sit down at the drawing board, and definitely get some fan involvement going. The biggest problem that they both have is they're not listening to the damn fans. All they're doing is just making content for themselves or for who they think the fans are. And they've gotten it wrong each and every time. You know what the fans are, Disney? The fans are these types of kids right here, all right? They want this kind of action. You know, good storytelling to go along with some cool lightsabers. There it is. Like Star Wars, honestly, is probably easier to get right than Marvel. Like Marvel, you can make some major mistakes with comic book content. It's kind of hard to fuck Star Wars up. The only reason they're doing it is because of ideology, because they just can't simply get back to the basics. You know, the story and the blueprints are all there for you. You have, I don't know, hundreds, if not thousands of stories in Star Wars that you can easily adapt. But of course, they wanted to shit can the EU, and here we are, you know. We're doing this trash, all right? We're over here doing this bullshit right here, okay? Or you got, I mean, one of the worst action scenes in Star Wars history as we're looking at it here, man. This was just terrible. Yeah, but see, yeah, let's get back to this article. I want to check this out. There's no denying that Marvel Studios has floundered after Avengers Endgame. Once the Infinity Saga came to an end and the multiple founding members of the Avengers left for good, it took a while for the franchise to find its footing. It still ain't found its footing. I don't know what this guy's talking about. It ain't found its footing at all. Throwing a world-shifting event that relegated Black Widow to a simultaneous streaming release, and the MCU seemed to have everything going against it. It still does, all right? The MCU has not recovered. I'm not sure if this guy is paying attention. Since then, Marvel movies have mostly been failed experiments, from unconnected stories helmed by Oscar-winning directors to a Doctor Strange sequel that required way too much homework. While there have been some box office successes like Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and Deadpool and Wolverine, it's clear something has to change. Yeah, you need to fire everybody. That's what needs to change. Get them activists out of the business. You know, which, you know, to Chris Gord's credit, he said, yeah, they're running the activists out of Marvel. Good. That's what they needed to do. You know, but they also need to bring in writers. They need to bring in fans that know the material. They need to bring in people that understand why comic book content is interesting and entertaining in the first place. You know, they need to do that. They need to get people that understand the fan base. They understand the genre. They understand what works about this and what doesn't work. It's like any other genre. You wouldn't bring in somebody that knows absolutely nothing about horror to try to appeal to horror fans. You know, you got to bring somebody in that understands it. It's always okay to have a different take, but you got to have people that know the business. One way Marvel is attempting this is by going back to what works. The Russo brothers, directors of Infinity War and Endgame, will direct the upcoming Avengers movie, Doomsday and Secret Wars. And that's going to feature, you know, Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom. See, I think all of that is just going to be a big waste of time. I think this is, you know, like jangling keys almost. It's like, oh, look, we got the Russo brothers coming back. You know, oh, look, we got Robert Downey Jr. coming back. Yeah, but is the movie going to be any good? Yeah, the Russos, they did a good job with Infinity War and Endgame, but also consider that Infinity War and Endgame were the culmination of, multiple movies, a big, long-running storyline, the event, like what's Doomsday and what's Secret Wars? Is this some event that we're waiting for the culmination of? Nobody knows what the hell is going on with these movies. What's Doomsday going to be about? That used to be Kang Dynasty. Now it's Doomsday. What does this mean? I don't know. Secret Wars, yeah, we know what the Secret Wars run is, but none of that has been inserted into the MCU. That's what us fans know. But in the MCU, who knows what the Secret Wars is? Nobody. They haven't been building up to it. You know nothing about it. And these are two movies that are just going to be coming out, boom, bam. That's it. Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. is Dr. Doom. That's going to get a lot of buzz. But again, you haven't really even introduced the character of Dr. Doom yet. And so it's like when Thanos was introduced in 2012 at the end of Avengers, right? At the end of Avengers. And then it took them, 6 years of buildup and hype and building up the moment to get to Infinity War. This is just going to be, oh yeah, Dr. Doom, he'll be here 2 years from now and nobody's seen him yet. This is just a bad idea. So, but, again, getting back to this article, when it comes to Star Wars, the 3 new Star Wars movies were announced in Celebration in 23. Since then, not much has happened. James Mangold, Dawn of the Jedi movie looks to be the most likely to make it to production. But according to Puck News, Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy's Rey movie lost its writer, Stephen Knight, meaning it might not be able to make its December 2026 release date. It ain't coming out in 26 or 27 or 28 or ever. All right, this thing is DOA dead. It's not happening. It's just not happening. Then the article just kind of wraps up with this paragraph saying, Disney, they need to, take some chances with Marvel and Star Wars is basically what it says. I think they need to figure out what they want to do. All right, push pause on everything for 5 years. That won't hurt anything. And as a matter of fact, it might make people miss your franchise. Let people get used to not having Star Wars for a while, miss Star Wars a little bit and Marvel, and then bring it back. And then when you bring it back, actually have some people that know what the hell it is they're doing. Say, oh, okay, we brought it back and we brought in some actual Star Wars fans that know what fans are looking for. All right. That can absolutely deliver the goods. Again, take 5 years off and go and find people that will make Star Wars. We'll be here. We'll wait. We just don't want trash anymore. All right. Give us good Star Wars like these young kids is trying to give us here, man. I still love this, man. This is so awesome. And I wish, again, that Star Wars was giving these kids, something for themselves in their own generation, not having to go back 25 years to duplicate Duel of the Fates. They should be duplicating a lightsaber battle that they just saw this year or last year or the previous year or something like that. But yeah, we got to go all the way back 25 years to go to get to awesome lightsaber battles and stories that mean something that mattered to the fans, instead of whatever the hell it is we got nowadays, man. Disney Star Wars is a disaster. They need to follow these kids right now and say, okay, this is what kids is looking for. Let's go ahead and give them that. All right. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think about this situation. Again, I feel like Star Wars and Marvel both need a break. Hopefully they'll get one if they don't get their act together in the next couple of years. Give them a break, okay? Again, we'll be here when you get back. But give us something worth coming back to. That's the bottom line. But you guys let me know what y'all think. Jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. Thanks for watching. See you next time.